Hello everyone, in this video we are building a complete working setup with the laptop. It turned out to be a really cool work from home setup, so hit the like button and let's start. Since we are building a setup from scratch, first we need a chair and desk. FlexiSpot sent their C7 ergonomic chair and an E2 standing desk for this video, so let's check it out. The chair comes in this box, the packaging is very good, inside we have all the pieces as well as screws with tools and instructions. The assembly process wasn't that hard, but it definitely required some time. It took about an hour for me. The chair looks good and the material, which is a mesh option here, feels very nice. On the website you can go with the foam as well. After using this chair for a while, I can say it's definitely a game changer for work setup. It supports the right posture, so even after sitting 2-3 hours straight, my back is not as tired as it was with other chairs. I switched a lot of chairs in the past 2 years, so I can say if you spend around 8 hours sitting at your desk, ergonomic design chair is the way to go. This chair allows you to make a lot of adjustments, height, lumbar support, and even a forward seat tilt. It also has a self-adaptive dynamic system, which basically makes the chair adapt on the go, so you can just lay back at any time without making any adjustments, which is very convenient. Moving on to the E2 standing desk, it comes in 2 boxes. In the first box you get a frame and the motor, and in the second box we have a desktop itself. I gotta say the packaging is on top level here. I went with the most popular 48 by 24 inches size. If you want you can choose another size on the website. I assembled the desk and the first thing I noticed is how sturdy it was. All standing desks that I used in the past were pretty shaky on those heights. Another cool thing about this desk is that the desktop is one piece, which can be important for some people. For the material I went with the bamboo because I think it's a great fit for a working theme. There are more options on the website as well. Big thank you to FlexiSpot for sending their goods. They're having a brand day sale with up to 60% off, so check it out and use code BDC7 for $30 off a chair. Now let's move to the laptop. If you work from home, you probably using a MacBook or a Windows laptop. In my case, I'll be using a MacBook Air M1, and for a Windows laptop, I'm using an Acer Aspire 3. Really good laptop by the way if you are looking for a budget office solution. I'll be building the entire setup around these laptops and have made sure all the devices that I use are compatible with both Mac and Windows. Now starting with the mouse, I think the best mouse for such setup will be a Logitech G305. It is wireless, has a pretty good sensor and build quality, and it's comparable with any system. Although it is worth mentioning that I had to get a USB hub to connect it with MacBook. That is an extra $7, but I like it better than dealing with Bluetooth in macOS. The mouse itself is great, I have a couple of them and I always recommend it for both work and budget gaming setups. It costs $35 and for that price it's a good value. Moving on, now we need to get a mousepad. I went with the leather mousepad from Wysagi, which is also a bestseller on Amazon. There are a lot of colors to choose from. Mine is eggshell color and the size is 26 by 13 inches. The quality feels pretty good and it's pretty good at its job as well. So here's what we have so far, and I would say this is basically a minimum setup you need for work. You'll probably need a headset or earphones as well. I don't really have a strong recommendation for office here, so here are the headset I'm suggesting to try. Let's now upgrade the setup even more and get a better keyboard. I decided to go with Kmove K98 SE. It is a nice budget mechanical keyboard that you can get for $39 on Amazon. In the box we have a pretty long Type-C to USB cable, a keycap puller, instruction with combinations, and the keyboard itself. The keyboard has some weight to it, which feels pretty nice. We have a red switches here, so the keys are very easy to press and responsive. I like the retro theme and colors here. It's really easy to see the letters and it even has a numpad. The keyboard also has a light blue backlight with lots of modes. And most importantly, the keyboard is fully compatible with both macOS and Windows. Here's how it looks. If you watched the previous laptop setup video, you know that the external keyboard always leads to the monitor. So for today's video, I'm going with the Pixio PX248 Pro. Really nice 24-inch 1080p monitor that I have been using for a while. It's also an IPS panel and the refresh rate is 165 Hz. It's usually costs around $135 on Amazon, but if you're trying to find a more affordable monitor for your office setup, look out for 100Hz monitors. Lately I saw many of them on Amazon with a great value for the price. So this monitor has a pretty good stand, it is very adjustable, but today I decided to use something new. This is a laptop monitor stand that I bought from Amazon for $35. The stand has two arms. On the first arm we have a monitor mount, which is standard for all monitors, and on the second arm we have a platform for a laptop. Here's how it looks. A huge benefit of this is that you can now use all desk space that is below the monitor and laptop. Also, the monitor is still adjustable. If your monitor doesn't have the adjustable stand from the box, this is a good solution. The MacBook that I'm using has only two Type-C ports, very generous from Apple, so to connect all the peripherals, monitor and laptop charger, I need a more serious USB hub, and I think I found a great solution. This is a USB-C hub for MacBooks from Anker. Got it from Amazon for $35. In the box we have a papers and the hub itself. It has an aluminum case, very nice, and with this hub the laptop now has a power port, HDMI, two USBs, another Type-C, so I can also utilize the previous hub, and even a TF card reader. Here's how the setup looks now. I think it's pretty nice. The majority of laptop screens are less than 16 inches, so the external monitor is a big upgrade here. More than that, you can still use a laptop screen as a second monitor by selecting expand instead of mirroring in the display settings. Of course, it doesn't have a lot of space, but for something like a music player or messenger, it's very usable. The next thing I got is a monitor lamp. I see they are becoming more and more popular, so let's see what it's all about. I got one from Kentis for $39, which is a bestseller in the category. In the box we have instructions, mount pieces, a long USB to Type-C cable, and the light bar itself. It's made of metal and on top it has sensor buttons. You can control light brightness and temperature on the left side, and on the right side we have a power and auto dimming buttons. The installation is pretty straightforward. The hardest part was to attach the mount to the light bar. It is powered by USB, so if you want you can use any adapter with it as well. There is no benefit in connecting it to the laptop. When I first turned it on, I was pretty surprised. It lights out the desk space really well, and none of that light is on the monitor. As of now, I've been using it for a week, and I gotta say it's one of the best upgrades you can do if you work late hours on your PC. Here's how the setup looks. I think it turned out great. The only thing I would change is the mousepad. I should have gotten a bigger size to get more mouse space. Other than that, it's a pretty nice laptop setup. It looks pretty good with a Windows laptop as well. You can see I'm not using any USB hub in that case. Of course, the exposed cables take away from looks, but practically it's not a bother. Plus, I think the ability to take out the laptop in seconds is very convenient for a work setup. If you are building yourself an office setup, don't ignore devices that are advertised as gaming. From what I got researching for this video is that there are a lot of old devices advertised for offices where you get bad value for the price. So in some cases it's better to go with gaming. Let me know what you think about this setup in the comments. As always, you can find the links to everything in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.